What is going on, guys? Snowball here with some Infected. Once again, I've really been liking this game lately. Game type, excuse me, Infected. So it's really fun. The way I look at it is that I'm pretty much always gonna win. I've had to play like 80 games of Infected already since it came out, and that might be a low number to some people, but out of 80 games I've lost like 3 times, and you know, that's it. So it's really fun because if you look at it, if you don't know how to win, if you're a survivor and at the end of the time limit, if you're still a survivor, that means you win and the Infected lose, because the point is the Infected have to try to get everybody infected. And if you are infected and everybody gets infected, no matter what the time is throughout the game, then you win. So it's pretty cool. You know, I'd say about probably 85% of the time you win as infected, just because it turns out that way. And it does get kind of frustrating sometimes, especially when you're first infected. It's like, oh my god, it's ridiculous. So what we've really been focusing on lately is whenever you start, I watch the mini-map very closely, and it has the countdown right there also of who's going to be infected first. And then you can see on the map whenever somebody disappears, if they're right next to you, then you better watch out and you better shoot them, or else they'll shoot you and you become infected already. So a couple other things I wanted to point out is, don't really stay by yourself. As you see, I'm kind of by myself right now, and I start running back towards where everybody else is at, because if you think about it, it's kind of common sense. Whenever you have an infected person running at you and you're alone, they just want to stab you. I mean, there's nobody else for them to stab, but if you're way up here with everybody else and an infected person runs in, they're going to stab, you know, the closest person to them. So they have an option of who they're going to stab, not just you. So work as a team. And by the way, this is my opinion of how you should play this game. If you guys got another way you want to play it, by all means, I'm not trying to change your mind on it. I'm just stating the way that I like to do things. So here on Underground, I'm trying to hold off these 3 spots, and I'm running back and forth just for the infected, just, you know, because those are the 3 ways they could come up on you. And there's normally, in any spot in the map, there's normally 3 ways that somebody can attack you from. You know, no matter where you're at. Sometimes there's only 2, sometimes there's even 1. But there's normally just 3 ways that somebody can attack you from. So both sides of the map here, plus the center on the stairwells. And that's the 3 ways they can come from, depending on if you're sitting up here. And also the back hallway over there, if nobody's watching it. Yeah, but so that's just the way to hold off here on Underground. I believe this is the best spot. And one thing I really like that they put in the game, thank you Modern Warfare 3, Infinity Ward people, Robert Bowling, whoever that thought of this, was to give the throwing knife to the infected. I really appreciate that. You know, as a survivor, it's kind of like, oh shit, they got throwing knives, you know, you gotta keep, it's like, don't forget, you gotta keep moving, you know. So I always tell my teammates that, like, you'll see one person sitting in a corner, I'm like, you're gonna get pretty messed up by a throwing knife. And because throwing knives, honestly, you know, they're not too hard to use. So what I'll do is, if I get infected, then I'm like, yes, I have a throwing knife. And so I'll actually use my tactical insertion, say like on the stairwells right there, and then I'll run up the stairwells and throw my throwing knife, and sometimes I'll hit somebody, sometimes I won't. So if I don't hit somebody, then I'll just run out there and get shot, so I can respawn and have my throwing knife back, unless I find one just sitting on the ground, of course. But so I really love the throwing knife, and I love the fact that they gave the infected a throwing knife. So it's pretty cool. But one thing that Infected has done for me is increase my win-loss ratio, which in my opinion is just as important as the KD. I mean, a lot of people love their KDs, and I see a lot of people posting videos on YouTube of, you know, they have a high KD score but they lose the game, and I'm like, well, what was the point of that? You know, like, I like a good win-loss ratio too. So mine is actually 1.23, and I'm attempting to get that up, and that's what Infected is really doing to it. It's getting my win-loss up. As you see, we won the match because we had some survivors left, and I was pretty close to a MOAB. This was actually 2 games after I got my first MOAB in Team Deathmatch, and I got pretty close to Infected also. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. I've been Snowball. Thanks for watching. If you did, you're awesome, and see you guys next time. Peace.